Hello, this is my plant cell. Over here we have the cellulose cell wall, and it's tough, usually flexible, sometimes it's a rigid layer, and it is the outside of the cell membrane, and it protects the plant cell and keeps it its harder structure, and rather than it being permeable like the cell membrane, it is impermeable and nothing can get inside. You also have the cell membrane that separates the interior of the cell from the outside environment, and that would be selectively permeable, but the cell wall isn't. You also have your cytoplasm here. It is a jelly-like substance. It's represented by the jello, and the cell wall was represented by the bowl this is in, and the membrane is the outside of the jello. But back to the cytoplasm. That is a thick, liquid-like, jelly-like substance between the cell membrane and holding all the structures in their places, and things can be transported through it. You also have your nucleus right here, which is represented by the rice cake, and it is the defining organelle of eukaryotic cells. It's separated from the cytoplasm by two phospholipid bilayers, and which is known as the nuclear envelope, which would be the outside of the rice cake. Then you have the nucleolus, which is represented by the fudge Oreo cookie, which is yummy to eat also. But that holds the DNA, which is the deoxyribonucleic acid, and our genetic material, which makes up our traits and who we are. Then you have, outside of it, the endoplasmic reticulum, which is the ramen noodles. You have the smooth ER, which is this side, and the rough ER when you have the ribosomes inside of it. And endoplasmic reticulum is the intercellular plumbing system that's critical for production of new proteins. So the rough ER has the rough appearance because of all the dots kind of things, which is the ribosomes. And those are making proteins inside the endoplasmic reticulum. Over here, the flakes over here, I'm representing the Golgi apparatus, which are the raisin bran flakes. And those are a series of flattened membrane compartments whose purpose is to proceed and package proteins produced in the rough endoplasmic reticulum right next to it. And these processed molecules are packaged into membrane vesicles and then targeted and transported to their final destinations. And then over here you have your mitochondria, which are the grapes. And they're found in almost all eukaryotes, including these plants. And mitochondria have two membranes surrounding them. The inner one is highly folded, and they carry out critical steps in the extraction of energy from food and the conversion that trapped energy used in any useful form. They are basically the cell's power plants. You have this chip scoop right here is the chloroplast. And their organelles found in algae and in the green parts of plants. Chloroplasts have two membranes surrounding them, as well as the internal system of stacked membrane discs. They are the sites of photosynthesis and reactions that plants use to capture the energy of sunlight in usual form. That's what photosynthesis is. You also have back over here by the Golgi apparatus are these peanuts with little red food coloring on them. They are lysosomes, and they're basically the cell's recycling centers. They're full of digestive enzymes and break down worn cell parts or molecules so they can be used again and to build new cellular structures. Inside of this cytoplasm, inside there's a cytoskeleton, which is a meshwork of protein fibers, and they carry out various functions, including cell support, movement, and movement of cell structures within the cell. And last but not least, we have the water vacuole. And they tend to be larger in plant cells, and they play a role in sugar pressure. And they're a membrane-bound sac that play a role in intercellular digestion and the release of cellular waste products. when a plant is well watered, the water collects in the cell vacuoles and they produce rigidity in plants. Without sufficient water, pressure in the vacuole is reduced and the plant wilts, and that's why plants wilt. And this is my edible, but probably not delicious plant cell. Thank you.